Pick your mans up.
And just because people used to come through shooting at us every day. And this block, words can't even explain, man. Can't even explain.
Yeah, man.
Little School Valley, 05 way on money.
Young Money, man. They in the building.
600 boy, LA, man. LA Capone, man. Get it to him, man. OC2 boys, man. Team
Number 9, man. Number 9 shooter, you hear me?
Hey, bitch, little bitch. Yeah. Fuck is wrong with you? Hey, I am Brick Squad. Brick Squad, boy. Fuck is you talking about, boy?
You have to be willing to die or go to jail for 100 years if that's the lane that you're stepping in. You have to understand that whether you 15, 16, you got to think like a man. You know what I'm saying?
So don't be in it. Oh, you're not? Why does everybody say you're only 16 years old?
They say what they want to say.
How old
How old are you?
300.
The story of J Money, aka J Munna. This is the story of J Money, who stands out as one of the most iconic and universally respected figures to emerge from 64th and Normal. Because he was active across two distinct eras, his trajectory bridges the transition from WIIIC City into what the world came to know as O Block following the 2011 murder of O.D. Perry. Across the BD sets on the South Side, he was widely loved for being charismatic and funny, but he also built a heavy street reputation early on by putting in major work well before the city's beefs went viral on the internet, but also after. J Money was a very beloved member who had friends all over the city and was the type of guy to get along with everyone due to his way of carrying himself. I hope you will enjoy it. J Money, whose real name was Jerome Terrell Howard, was born on April 12, 1992, in Chicago, Illinois. J Money grew up in the Robert Taylor homes on 43rd Street. He was a straight-up hothead from an early age and stayed that way his entire life. People who knew him described him as one of the craziest individuals they had ever met, a mindset shaped by the heavy environment inside the projects. J Money was known for being aggressive and unpredictable. You never knew what he was going to say or do because he always acted on impulse. Being naturally built and strong as a kid gave him a clear advantage over others his age, leading him to develop an aggressive mindset where he could beat up almost anyone around him. That same attitude followed him when he moved to Parkway Gardens. He kept getting bigger and stronger over the years, even though people rarely saw him work out while he was on the street. Most assumed he built most of his muscle mass during his bids in jail. J Money was raised by his mother and grandmother alongside his brother, Gio. Gio was later killed in 2012, an event that led to the creation of the set known as Gio Drive. In his teens, J Money loved to drink and go to parties, especially out west, which had a completely different vibe back then. The west side wasn't as violent as the south side at the time, and people out there were making big money. Every time J Money showed up, they looked out for him with free weed and threw huge parties that he attended. Through that scene, J Money built tight friendships across the entire city early on. He was especially close with Capo from NLMB, alongside plenty of other key figures around town. He was even the first person to take L.A. Capone out to the club when L.A. was just 16 years old. Around this same period, J Money stepped into the streets for real. He started messing with guns, robbing people, and selling drugs. Getting money like that on a consistent basis is what ultimately earned him his nickname, J Money. After spending his early years in the Robert Taylor homes, J Money moved to Parkway Gardens, the housing complex the world now knows as O Block. Back then, It wasn't the globally recognized epicenter of drill culture, it was just another neighborhood complex where local kids played outside, shot hoops, and hung out. While crime existed, the atmosphere was a far cry from the intense violence that would later define the area. In those early days, shorties like J Money were mostly involved in minor mischief, stealing bikes, street fights, and general neighborhood trouble. But as time went on, those small-time antics slowly escalated into heavy street violence. There is a long-standing narrative that Parkway Gardens was originally pure gangster disciple territory. While there is a grain of truth to it, the actual history is far more nuanced. Back in the mid-2000s, roughly between 2005 and 2007, Parkway lacked a single, rigid gang identity. Street activity was just beginning to take root, largely driven by loose cliques of local friends rather than organized sets. At that stage, the block wasn't officially repping Black Disciples or GDs as a collective. Instead, Parkway was an open mix of different affiliations. BDs, GDs, Black P, Stones from the east side, and even Mickey Cobras from the low end all moved through the complex. The atmosphere was calm enough that people could post up outside the gates or hang by the local stores without the constant threat of lethal beef. The real shift began around 2007. Key figures like Boss Top, O.D. Perry, Platoon, and others started establishing a consistent presence in the complex. Their emergence laid the groundwork for Parkway Gardens to form a distinct identity, permanently changing the energy on the block and setting the stage for what would become WIIIC City and, eventually, O-Block. The rumor that Parkway Gardens used to be GD territory isn't entirely baseless. It stems directly from a foundational chapter in the complex's early street history. The roots trace back to Boss Top, who originally came from No Love City, a prominent gangster disciple set. When Boss Top and his close associate Spike relocated to Parkway Gardens, they brought a wave of people from NLC with them. Spike was already a heavy hitter in No Love, known for trapping alongside respected OGs like The Godfather. Before Parkway solidified into WIIIC City, it was heavily influenced and essentially run by these No Love figures. Among those brought into the fold was Big A, who would eventually become one of O-Block's most active and feared frontline drillers. The dynamic began shifting around 2007 to 2008 as Parkway Gardens aligned more deeply with organized street activity. Established Black Disciple members, including Reezy, Bruh, Slick, Willie, and Freak, began moving into the complex. These were respected BDs who were staunchly GDK and held their ground, refusing to drop their nation allegiance despite being in a mixed environment. That stance naturally created friction with the older GD presence from No Love. While the tension never escalated into gunplay, it sparked frequent fistfights and heated physical altercations across the complex. Eventually, key figures like Boss Top, BJ, and Big A officially flipped from GD to BD, though they maintained mutual respect with their original No Love roots. By 2008, Parkway's trajectory changed permanently when the block entered an active feud with the Met Boys. That conflict coincided with the rise of Bruh, whose aggressive presence and leadership played a massive role in shaping Parkway Gardens into the formidable set it would become. Bruh, whose real name is Kenyatta Claire, originally came from 46th, specifically the set that became THF, where he ran with heavy hitters like Baby Zoo and Bob O. When older members from 46 Terror officially formed THF, Bruh was right there in that movement. Not long after, Kenyatta moved into Parkway Gardens, bringing THF street politics and pre-existing rivalries directly into the complex, most notably their deep-seated tension with the Met Boys. The conflict hit a breaking point when Bruh allegedly opened fire on Met Boys members. In retaliation, the Met Boys slid on Parkway Gardens, shooting back at Bruh and those around him. That single incident permanently altered the block's trajectory. Key figures like Boss Top, BJ, and Big A, who were close with Bruh, were pulled straight into the crossfire, instantly inheriting the Met Boys as enemies by association. When 051 Young Money organized into its own set and formed a tight alliance with the Met Boys, Parkway Gardens was automatically labeled DIY by the coalition, sparking the long-standing war between Parkway and 051. By 2009, with a steady influx of black disciples settling into the complex, the block needed a unified identity to reflect the new era. They coined the name Wild Insane Crazy, eventually tacking City onto the end to follow the naming trend popular at the time, similar to Jaro City. To signal their strong alignment with the Trays, they spelled it with 3 I's, giving birth to WIIIC City. This rebrand firmly established Parkway Gardens as official BD territory, emerging right around the same time STL was solidifying into its own structured set across the way. Keep in mind, many members thought that J Money was even crazier than Bruh. Before Parkway Gardens became WIIIC City and entered its legendary war with STL/EBT, the original block conflict was an internal battle along King Drive, literally King Drive versus King Drive. At the time, a coalition known as SKD, South King Drive, operated across a massive stretch from 51st to 62nd Street. SKD tried to bring Parkway Gardens under its direct authority and structure, but guys like Boss Top and J Money flat out refused to fall in line. Tensions boiled over as Boss Top and his circle began robbing and jumping SKD members. SKD, a group already heavily armed, retaliated by repeatedly pulling up to Parkway and opening fire. Eventually, WIIIC City built up its own firepower and started striking back. While rumors suggest bodies dropped during this war, with some alleging J Money was involved in one of them, much of that remains unconfirmed speculation. However, an interesting fact is that Gio from SKD, who was killed in February 2012 and whose name inspired the set Geo Drive, was actually J Money's blood brother. Losing his blood brother was heartbreaking for J Money. Outgunned and outmaneuvered, SKD lost ground and failed to mount a sustained comeback. The coalition eventually dissolved, with its remaining members scattering into neighboring sets, some joining EBT and STL, while others aligned with Jaro City. The collapse of SKD cleared the board, setting the stage for the modern power structure around Parkway. J Money officially jumped off the porch around 2006 to 2007 when he was about 14 or 15. At that stage, his involvement mostly consisted of street fights and minor run-ins, nothing involving firearms yet. As established earlier, the neighborhood beefs during that era were still largely physical rather than lethal. Everything changed in 2011. The entire landscape shifted when Tuco was killed, an operation widely attributed to O.D. Perry from WIIIC City alongside members from Temp. That single event marked the point of no return for the city's drill scene. Just months later, retaliatory violence struck WIIIC City when OD himself was gunned down by a joint effort from STL and mob. From that moment on, the war escalated rapidly into an all-out blood feud. The BD side, led primarily by O-Block and 600, went head-to-head against the GD coalition of STL, EBT, Jaro City, and mob, pulling neighboring sets like Lamron and Front Street straight into the rapidly expanding crossfire. Now we come to another murder J Money was allegedly involved in, the high-profile killing of Lil JoJo. On September 4, 2012, at precisely 6:13 p.m., Lil JoJo posted a tweet that would have devastating consequences, not just for himself, but for the entire trajectory of the city's drill scene. He broadcast his exact location for the public to see. "I'm on 069. I'm out here." As soon as members from Lamron, SMG, O-Block, Lowlife, and 600 spotted the post, they quickly coordinated a response. Rather than rushing in with a single vehicle, they loaded into 3 separate cars. In street warfare, pulling up to a broadcasted location carries massive risk. Targets are often waiting on defense, fully armed and expecting an ambush. To offset that risk and maximize their firepower, top members from each set mobilized together. Every set involved wanted to be the ones to catch him, setting the stage for one of the most infamous retaliatory hits in Chicago drill history. Almost exactly an hour after broadcasting his location, at roughly 7:30 p.m., Lil JoJo was riding on the handlebars of a bicycle pedaled by Dez from Brick Squad near 69th Street and Princeton Avenue. Recently released video footage from the scene captures Dez and JoJo riding down the middle of the street with 3 vehicles trailing closely behind them. In the clip, JoJo can be seen glancing back at the cars, a terrifying moment as he realized the immediate danger he was in. According to the murder report, those same 3 vehicles had already circulated the block once on a scout pass before spotting him on their second lap. While the camera angle cuts away from the fatal shots, the sequence of events escalated rapidly. As the cars closed in, JoJo and Dez ditched the bicycle and fled in opposite directions. Dez ran back toward where the cars originated, while JoJo ran in the direction the vehicles were heading, doing everything he could to create distance. Despite his attempt to escape, a single bullet struck JoJo in the lower back. Because he was actively running, the projectile traveled upward, piercing his heart. He collapsed near a stop sign at 70th and Eggleston while trying to cut around the corner, just out of the security camera's frame. First responders found JoJo unresponsive around 9 p.m. He was transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was tragically pronounced dead, closing the chapter on one of the most heavily discussed homicides of the early drill era. The hit on Lil JoJo involved 3 separate cars packed with members from allied sets, giving rise to several long-standing theories about who was on the scene and who actually pulled the trigger. Early street rumors naturally focused on high-profile figures like Lil Reese, Frito, Lil Durk, and Chief Keef due to their public social media beefs with JoJo. JoJo's own mother later suggested Keef may have funded the hit rather than pulled the trigger himself. Over time, attention shifted to active street figures like Poo Poo from SMG, D-Rose from 600, and KK from Lamron, a narrative fueled partly by a Facebook post attributed to Tato, which he claimed was hacked and Chief Keef directly referencing Poo Poo in his music. However, the most credible theory regarding the actual shooter points directly to WIIIC from Low Life. A close associate of O-Block figures like Boss Top and King Von, WIIIC was one of Low Life's top members. This theory gained major traction after O-Block's Louis explicitly posted, F Lil JoJo, shout out Low Life, directly crediting the set for the hit. Furthermore, when WIIIC passed away in 2021 from natural causes, several Brick Squad members immediately mocked his death while honoring JoJo, a classic street indicator that a killer has died. While WIIIC is widely believed to have been the actual shooter, J Money is heavily implicated as being present in one of the vehicles assisting the operation. Beyond long-standing street accounts placing him on the hit alongside Ray Rilla, who later tatted Joe York, J Money essentially admitted to his involvement. In October 2012, just weeks after the murder, J Money tweeted, "I'm sending shots, JoJo guy, I started the noise, little do you know."
Terrible.
Yeah, man, my nigga Moody gonna be Lil JoJo for Halloween.
I get on the JoJo bill.
Hey, who you gonna be for Halloween this year?
I'm JoJo. Look.
JoJo?
Can I get on the JoJo?
Only 2 months later, J Money was involved in another murder, but this time he was rumored to have been the main shooter. This time, he allegedly scored on Jaro City alongside King Von and L.A. Capone, with potential involvement from Manny and Tay from 600, though the full head count behind the first three remains unconfirmed. The victim was P5 from Jaro City, also known as Crack, who was a major moneymaker and drug dealer for his set. Following the murder of WIIIC from O-Block a few months prior at the hands of Jaro's 50 shots, O-Block was actively looking for payback. While taking out a high-profile Jaro member served as revenge for WIIIC, evidence suggests J Money also had a personal issue with P5 over a woman named Lisa. She was J Money's baby mama, but P5 had started dating her. Lisa maintained close ties with other Jaro City members as well as 051 Young Money figures like Arrow, alongside rumors of a past relationship with D-Roy. Most recently, she was in a toxic relationship with KTS Rio before he was shot and killed. J Money really loved Lisa a lot. She was not originally from Parkway, but once he started bringing her around a while after they started dating, he made sure that she felt welcome and that O-Block took her in as one of their own. He wasn't playing about her. On top of the conflict over Lisa, pure envy played a huge role in targeting P5. He was bringing in heavy cash from dealing, and that money made him an even bigger target for rivals who were already looking for payback on Jaro City. Taking him out solved two things at once, settling the jealousy over his status and income, while delivering a massive score on Jaro. There is one theory that J Money and King Von set up a deal on the 6200 block of South Eberhard Avenue, Jaro City's main block, tricking P5 into meeting someone he thought was a buyer around 9:13 a.m., only to run into J Money and the rest. However, Lil P from STL, who was actually there, told a different story. According to Lil P, he and P5 were heading to a friend's place on 63rd to smoke. P5 wanted coffee since it was early, so they split up. P5 went for coffee, and Lil P walked 3 houses down to get more blunts. While walking, Lil P saw a black truck pull up and 3 guys in all black jump out, firing shots past him straight toward P5. P5 tried to run into a gangway, but got trapped by a locked gate at the end, allowing the shooters to catch him right there. Lil P then saw Lil B from EBD run across the street yelling, "Who the F is that?" The shooters jumped back into the truck and took off. Lil P told Lil B that P5 was in the gangway, and when they ran over, P5 was already gone. Which version is true can't be proven 100%, and Lil P's account doesn't rule out O-Block having the drop on his location ahead of time. At the same time, it is very possible that O-Block was just out sliding early. During that era, J Money and Von were riding constantly, often hitting blocks before school started, just like Von rapped, "Set my alarm, it's time to kill 'cause we on schedule." J Money, King Von, and L.A. Capone, the 3 I truly personally believe to have been the actual shooters, did P5 dirty, and he met a gruesome end. Street accounts say J Money's bullets were the first to catch up with P5 as they hit him in the back as he tried to escape. Once P5 collapsed, the group didn't back off. They stood directly over him, firing 6 shots into his face and another 9 into his body. The scene was brutal, leaving his head completely disfigured and his body riddled with bullet holes. By the time police and paramedics made it to the gangway, the damage made immediate identification nearly impossible. He was rushed to John H. Strother Jr. Hospital of Cook County, where he was officially pronounced dead. While names like D-Roy, Manny, and Tay600 frequently come up in street speculation as potential rioters or backup on that hit, those claims remain unconfirmed. However, the direct involvement of J Money and King Von is basically solidified by P5's own family. Following Von's death in 2020, P5's brother posted a story on social media addressing the long-standing war over P5's murder. "We caught 2, we ain't get the last one. I know P5 is mad the gang ain't get his bitch ass." That statement confirms that it was 3 shooters, 2 of them was killed by EBT/051 Young Money, allies of Jaro, and the third, King Von, was gunned down out of town in an unrelated conflict, meaning that Jaro or their allies got him, which was a huge disappointment for them. Word on who pulled the trigger spread fast because the shooters couldn't stop self-snitching online immediately after the hit. Just 3 days later, J Money was actively mocking both P5 and his ex on Twitter, dropping posts like 45 hit his dreadlocks and P5 you got some weed. That's crazy that you sleep. That exact same day, Jaro tried to send an answer. J Money was driving alone near King Drive when FBG Butta spotted him and opened fire on his vehicle. J Money dodged the bullets and managed to speed away unharmed. Unfazed by the close call, he kept lightheaded taunts going online, basically taking direct credit for the hit when he tweeted, "I got crack." Manny, King Von, and L.A. Capone also flooded Twitter to throw dirt on P5, regularly bringing up how many shots he took and posting that OB600 was running the score up. Von chimed in with, "I'm starting to feel bad for the ops, because on that lady, I'm coming and coming. D-Roy is coming also and the whole block 600 coming too." By that point, Von had already put 2 bodies under his belt and shot 3 people all within that single month, a wild streak that later inspired his line in Armed and Dangerous, "People dying the whole October, the real Halloween." Not long after allegedly killing P5, J Money was arrested on unknown charges and released after just a couple of days. Since it happened only a week after P5 from Jaro City was killed, it's possible he was brought in for questioning regarding the murder, or it could have just been for something completely unrelated. The following year was relatively quiet on the streets for him until his death. Around this period, either in 2012 or 2013, a notable incident went down on Limron where Lil Reese actually shot J Money in the butt after J Money tried to extort him. Even though J Money was close with everyone across the sets and rappers, he still maintained that bully mindset. J Money was the type of person who couldn't sit still. He was always doing something, whether riding through traffic blasting music or hanging out on the block. Despite his unpredictable nature, many members said they always felt safe around him and that he gave off a strong big brother energy. He even stepped up to defend tricks from 600 when ops were mocking him. A lesser-known detail is that J Money was actually the one who invented the Mr. Thingy Thang lingo that King Von and T-Roy picked up and used heavily later on. J Money claimed OTF, Glow Gang, and Front Street, staying close with Dirk, Frito, Geef, and the rest of the main crew. In 2013, he even went on tour with Lil Durk and Frito Santana. He was constantly in the mix, loved across the sets, and served as the main muscle for his circle. Now, to finish this video, we've come to the final incident, the murder of J Money himself. On September 2nd, 2013, J Money lost his life on the 6600 block of South Rhodes Avenue after being shot by Lil B from EBT. This marked what street rumors consider Lil B's sixth and final body, giving P5 what Lil Twan from Taekwon World called the ultimate birthday gift. For a long time, speculation pointed to a girl setting J Money up, with K.I. alleged to be on the hit alongside Lil B. Members like Munna from O Block even claimed J Money was with a girl named Smokey when it happened. However, official police documentation debunks almost all of this, confirming Lil B was the sole shooter and no setup girl was involved. According to police records, J Money was actually with Prince Dre and E-Dog, heading to the block to do laundry. Unbeknownst to them, a car carrying Lil B and an unidentified driver spotted them in traffic. Lil B ducked low in the vehicle to confirm J Money's identity before they trailed the car to its destination. The driver dropped Lil B off nearby, allowing him to cut behind a house and navigate a gangway. As J Money and E-Dog loaded laundry into the vehicle with Prince Dre sitting inside, Lil B stepped out and opened fire with a 9mm Luger. J Money tried to run as soon as shots rang out, but Lil B pursued him while firing. After taking hits to the lower body, J Money collapsed, got back up, and made a dash toward an alley. Lil B stayed right behind him, landing several fatal shots to his chest, including one that exited through his mouth and a final bullet to the forehead. While WIIIC later claimed in computers that J Money was stood over and took 4 in the grill, forensic evidence from the police report disproves the standover narrative, confirming those lyrics were purely meant as post-mortem street disrespect. Paramedics pronounced 21-year-old J Money dead directly at the scene. According to the official documents, once the gunshots rang out, E-Dog allegedly jumped into the driver's seat and sped away from the location alongside Prince Dre. While their actual names are redacted in the public files, their identities were pieced together using listed birth dates, physical descriptions, and Prince Dre's own lyrics where he openly states he witnessed J Money get killed. The police report confirms in multiple sections that Race and Lil B Shaw was the primary and sole suspected gunman. The files also reveal that King Lil J and FBG Butta spoke with investigators, passing along street info that Lil B was responsible. Reading through these records makes one thing undeniably clear: informants exist across every single set in Chicago. No gang is immune to members cooperating with law enforcement. Another major detail exposed by the ballistics report is that the exact same 9mm used on J Money was recovered less than 2 weeks later during a shooting on Front Street. 6 members were arrested in that incident, including Lil B himself. This points to a recurring pattern with Lil B throughout these reports. He consistently kept dirty weapons tied to active homicides, with almost every gun associated with him linking back to multiple prior shootings. J Money was one of the older, most respected, and beloved figures on the block, having been in the field well before WIIIC City ever flipped its name to a block. Beyond the bodies linked to him, he built a heavy reputation for constantly sliding, allegedly shooting figures like 50 Shots, Torrance, and Rel from Jaro City, alongside Booman from STL/EBT. His work on the front line firmly established him as one of a block's top original drillers. When J Money was killed in 2013, the loss altered the set's identity forever. To honor his legacy, O-Block adopted the handle Munna Gang, OBMG, O-Block Munna Gang, turning his nickname into a core brand for the hood. That influence carries direct weight today. His name is the sole reason so many Parkway shorties and frontline members rep Munna in their names, including Munna Duke, Ocho Munna, and a whole wave of younger members carrying on his moniker. Following J Money's murder, the target on Lil B's back was massive. Sets like Lamron, THF 46, 600, and O-Block were all actively looking to slide in J Money's name, and once King Bun got out, Lil B was at the absolute top of his hit list. Yet despite all those sets hunting him, they could never catch him. Lil B moved extremely smart, staying on the go and constantly alert. Just like Vaughn, he was either out in traffic, lurking, or laying low in apartments, staying one step ahead at all times, because in that environment, slipping for a second means it's over. Instead, Lil B kept terrorizing every set he was beefing with. Street rumors claim he shot 600's D-Rose in the stomach and hit Tim's Money Man. Another story says he was about to smoke C-Day while riding around with Cray Cray, Lil J, and STL/EBT's Jew Blow, only for C-Day's mother to step out at the last second and threaten to call the cops. Most famously, Lil B allegedly ran up on Ocho Munna with a gun to his head, but the weapon jammed. Despite Lil B repeatedly pulling the trigger, the gun wouldn't fire, a moment of pure luck that is the only reason Ocho is alive today. Lil B's tactics were relentless. Street legend even has it that he used to hide inside trash cans, waiting to pop out and open fire on his targets. Moving into 2014. Just 4 months into the new year, J Money's killer met his own end. Basically everyone, from rival sets who wanted him gone for good to law enforcement trying to lock him up forever, was actively hunting Lil B. On March 29, 2014, his run came to a definitive end when CPD shot and killed him. Just 1 week prior to his death, Lil B was involved in a triple shooting that left 3 men from Tay-Town wounded. Hitting 3 targets in a single incident during an era long before switches became standard required incredible accuracy. While the specific identities of the victims remain unconfirmed, all 3 survived the attempt. What separates Lil B from most of his contemporaries was his absolute silence online. While many drill-era shooters put in work specifically to boast on social media for clout and attention, Lil B rarely self-snitched, a trait that draws direct comparisons to figures like No Limit Mad Max. Despite being named as a prime suspect in at least 3 separate homicide reports, he was never formally charged with murder, only serving time for minor offenses. While locked up in Cook County Jail, he regularly bumped heads with top rivals like D-Roy and the Block's Trey 5. The dynamic between Lil B and Trey 5 mirrored that of WIIIC and King Von, top-tier shooters representing opposing sides who constantly clashed behind bars, even though neither managed to catch the other on the streets. Outside of a block, D-Roy and Trey 5 remained his primary targets, though he also got into physical altercations inside Cook County with DIMP members like Deontay. Compounding his street reputation is the long-standing rumor that Lil B never sold a single bag of drugs in his life. His entire identity on the block was strictly centered around sliding and shooting. On March 29, 2014, Lil B's run came to an official end when he was shot and killed by Chicago police. According to the police account, officers spotted Shaw participating in a suspected drug deal. When they moved in to confront him, he took off running. Police claimed they cornered him in a gangway on the 6200 block of South Rhodes Avenue in Woodlawn. Officers stated that Shaw pulled a .40 caliber Glock with an extended magazine and laser sight, pointing it directly at a plainclothes officer. After refusing multiple orders to drop the weapon, the officer, claiming he feared for his life, opened fire, striking Shaw multiple times across his body. He was pronounced dead directly at the scene. However, the neighborhood and those close to him told a completely different story. Witnesses and family members vehemently denied that Shaw was armed, claiming he was simply trying to flee an active warrant for a missed court date on a misdemeanor trespass charge. The police pulled a gun like he was going to shoot him too, telling him to back up, said his cousin, Veronique. He was just laying there. He did not have any weapon or anything. He was just trying to hop a gate. His mother, Sharon Shaw, recalled receiving a frantic call from her daughter as the scene unfolded, while his employer, Shamika, who hired him to clean foreclosed homes, insisted he was actively turning his life around. He was a kid, she stated. He had a troubled past, but he was trying to get his life together. He had started working, come to work every day on time. The shooting sparked immediate outrage on the block, drawing a heavy, angry crowd that confronted police, resulting in at least 3 arrests. As standard protocol, the Independent Police Review Authority launched an investigation into the incident. The internal investigation ultimately cleared the officers involved, ruling the fatal shooting justified. When news broke that Lil B had been killed, a massive sigh of relief and celebration swept through rival hoods. Frontline members across O Block, 600, Lamron, THF 46, Chris World, and Front Street immediately flooded social media to mark his death. As was standard for the era, Twitter became the main stage for the disrespect. Ops unloaded years of pent-up animosity toward one of their most feared targets, mocking his demise while simultaneously honoring their fallen, J Money. The celebrations quickly doubled as a tribute session. Members repeatedly invoked the name of J Money, framing Lil B's death as ultimate karma for his role on Rhodes Avenue. At the same time, tributes poured in for Patoon, an original WIIIC city figure whose 2011 murder was also attributed to Lil B alongside Mob's Beans. J Money went from an aggressive kid in the Robert Taylor home straight into becoming one of the most unpredictable figures on Parkway. Raised by his mother and grandmother, his hothead temper and impulsive nature meant people on the block never knew what he was going to do next. He carried that same aggressive mindset into WIIIC City, building a reputation as a shooter and killer. That reputation made him a central target for his ops, eventually leading to his death on Rhodes Avenue in 2013. His death left a massive mark on a block, with the block honoring his name and carrying on his legacy long after he was gone. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe, and may God bless you all. Let me know what you want to see next.